Welcome to Humanity Unboxed. I'm very happy to be here with Michael McGroots again on our Monday afternoon slot. And Michael, I'm very curious as to where we're going to go with this. Our theme today is systems as collective artworks.
Mhm.
Um, so I don't like systems in general, but you've taught me a lot around not fighting the system. Um,
Yeah.
Systems. What are systems for us? Where do systems come in? I can think of, I was thinking about this. We have an educational system, we have a
Yeah.
financial system, we have a um, all those systems. So that's what we're looking at to chat about us as humans within these systems and how where do they come from? Who created these systems in
Okay. So when we went tribes, we everybody had an animal, some kind of animal, a pig or horse or a donkey, and everybody had to do whatever they had to do. So they had to bake bread. They had to that was a busy time. We had to do so much time. So there was one person in the tribe that was really good with animals. So we say, let me bake your bread, and I'm gonna get you my animal,
Yeah.
and you keep the animal. So then all of a sudden, I was not so busy with my bread. I created more. It took me longer to do the breads, but I did anyway one, so it doesn't matter if you do two. And the thing was, it allowed the person that took care of the animal that I can go in the woods, go for a walk, meet a friend, pick pear berries or whatever. So system is essential to us because we are a collective creative species of nature.
Mm.
So the reason why by nature we are a collective creator species and why number one of our superpowers is creativity. Otherwise, we wouldn't have New York, Singapore. We wouldn't have Google, Apple. We love to collaboratively create stuff, and in that we create our habitats, our cities, our states, our governments, our thing, and it's essential. The problem is when these systems uh, allow people to survive. They allowed, so meaning I'm taking care of all the animals. I don't need to worry about getting bread and getting food and getting whatever the horseshoes done or whatever,
Yeah.
because there's all these systems they created. The problem is when that worked a long time, and then that came, and it was still on the barter system. That wasn't on the pay. So then we found money, which was even the best. We say that money is not bad. Systems are not bad.
No.
Money is the represent. Oh, Michelle, that is the representation of your chickens. And
Yeah.
we go back to the thing, and I'm creating hammers. So how many hammers can you use? I can keep
Yeah.
eating chickens, but all of a sudden you have 200 hammers. What are you going to do with them?
No. Yeah.
A hammer sales. Then you have to start another system, all right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that when the money as representation of our contribution to humanity is perfect. It's a perfect invention, like fire, like the wheel. There's nothing to judge about it.
Mm.
But it turned into a system skill.
Mm.
You game the system. So if you are neurodivergent, for example,
Yeah.
and you're like me, I can't game the system. I
Yeah.
mean, that's why you have so many neurodiverse people in jails and think because they can't game the system. So they have to go by their intuition, stealing, doing this, betraying, whatever. I'm not saying neurodivergent are
No.
betrayers,
No.
but
But
there's a lot of people in prisons, that they're neurodivergent because they cannot be system relevant. They cannot be a system. So often, we see coups of the mafia or whatever, other things where you say, man, if they would use that wisdom and awareness in systems, they would be rich, but they can't. They can't. They can't. They can't. You know.
Yeah. So in essence, we've created these systems as our artworks, as a way for us to be able to do the things that we love, so that we don't have to diversify so much and kind of lose ourselves. But now we've ended up losing ourselves to the system.
And that was the interesting thing. Initially, the systems were here so that you can discover who Michelle is or who Michael is. You know, so it helps you to find yourself. Even the person that runs there, if the guy that takes care of the animals, he finds more of his one of oneness. That's why nature made us one of one, and that's why it all comes together with the synergistic fitting. So all of a sudden, wow, I am good with animals. Wow, I'm better with pigs than horses. So, and then, oh, but my mate is better with horses, so let her do it. Do you see the synergistic falling of one? Not everybody has to know everything. Not everybody has to be the know and better than everybody else. It just, we all work together, and it shifted because of the system relevance. That wasn't at that time. It was important that we just do generalizing. Yeah, woman, this is for woman, this is for man, this is for this race, this for kids, you know. But then it moved so much that all of a sudden we forgot the essential thing to help us to find our one of one, to be aware, self-aware. And we moved into, that's how women are, that's how men are pigs, women want money. You know, it's like, you know, it's like the generalizations, you know.
And segregation. So it's also dividing, you know, through whatever role we've created. But we've evolved as humans, as beings. We're not the same. We don't think the same. We don't experience the world in the same way as we did 500 years ago. But the systems haven't necessarily updated them. You know, we are sticking to this system where we've lost our humanity within that. So we come up against these closed doors, these paperwork we have to fill in, and we're not being seen or heard because the system is still it's almost made more complicated, as you know, to segregate.
It's made definitely life more complicated. Please, I mean, 80% of problems system started, initiated. They're from the 80% of human problems are caused by systems. So that's a lot of stuff, you know. So, but you see, but you don't have, you say go 500 years back. You don't even have to. Just the internet. So our creation, a system we created, not the aliens created, no somebody else. We created it, and we cannot be subordinate to the internet. The internet, whatever we create, is a beautiful creation of us. It's like an artwork. We created the internet, and guess what? All of a sudden, our growth, till before the internet, that we are one of one, and we weren't conscious. That's why awareness is so key. Because awareness is a responsibility that every human has to have. Because when you're aware, at least you're aware. Even if you abused or whatever, you're aware, and you're not thinking, "Oh, I need to be abused. I need to be taken advantage of. I need to do this." So what happened just in the internet, the niche market, but that's a reverse engineered system. Meaning, we all of a sudden, there were no niches before. There was woman, man, before the internet. I mean, there were some niches, but not like there's billions of niches on the internet now. You are a crocheter that only crochets with denim things, and you do it while you are drinking whiskey. I mean, there's every niche possible, imaginable is up there. So, but it's still not you, because if you and I go to the same niche, doesn't mean we're the same.
No, because the system can't make us the same, and that's why we struggle with the system, especially as whatever we want to call ourselves, non-linear thinkers, or
Yeah.
one of oneness.
Yeah.
um, the systems are there to create what's the word, a average, or a
To serve
product.
us. No. They're here to serve us. So let's
They're
say you and
supposed
I
to
are
be there to
painters, right?
serve us.
You and I are painters.
Yeah,
So the system of being, and even in painting, there's different things. But let's say you are a paint store. So
yeah,
you and I like that paint store because they treat our paintings as
yeah,
something they can actually help us getting better paints, better brushes, you know, to get all
they
this stuff
see
right.
us. There's a
And they
connection.
see
There's
it.
a
There's
human
a
connection.
connection.
Yeah,
But it doesn't mean I am now you and you are now me. We are going there, and because that system does the right job, it supports, it serves. And when you go into this store, I mean, what would you prefer? It just looking at pictures online and say, I want this, or
yeah,
walk into a paint store, which is, I mean, this is a dream for any artist or any
yeah,
creative in Japan and everywhere. You go to these unbelievable stores, paper and I mean, it's just so great, such a soul experience.
yeah,
A hardware store is something amazing, can be something amazing. So
yeah.
everything can be an artwork, and that's what I wanted to focus on this, because there's a fulfilling. It's not about the deal. It's not about I'm gonna get my things. I'm just clicking on this picture, get it in the mail, and that's it. Yeah, it's convenient, but it is no experience anymore. When you go in the Moscow metro,
Mm.
you see, oh my God, we all paid for this and it's ours. What do you have when you go in the British Museum? What happens when you go in the British Museum, such as that? You flabbergasted, but not because it's a big museum or it has gravitas or whatever. You flabbergasted because humans, there's so many variants of expressions and aesthetics that you say, oh my God, and you cannot not be connecting this, if you're conscious or not, that you are part of this species that created from 2000, 5,000 years ago, all this stuff,
Yeah,
and even if you go in an art museum, if you, the Tate or anything, you go and you say, oh my God, this is what the power of art. Then you go there and say, I can't believe this so much, because currently everything is binary. Everything is black and white. Every system looks like a thing is exploited, and you don't feel well there. I mean, go to any a doctor's office, any thing. You go to a government office, Social Security. You go anywhere and it's like uncomfortable. You want to go in, out. You have blue lights that shine down on you. You don't feel good. You just don't feel good. And the people also in there don't feel good. That's why they treat you like that. You think, oh my God, why am I treated like they don't feel good in that. There's no
because
price.
they've lost that interconnectedness
Yeah,
between these spaces. So this is health, this is social, this is economic, instead of going, this is human, and we
yeah,
need to connect them to each other.
exactly. Yeah.
Um,
And we need to take care of, if a human wants to do economic, then this is how and how can economic be the most beautiful when you go in? Like I would say that's like the Moscow metro. You go down there, the humans paid for this anyway.
mm,
So why don't you give, why these governments, these leaders don't give back to the humanity and say, I'm glad I am, I mean,
yeah,
here. I'm in this place, like say in this place we're making up. So I'm saying I'm happy in the monkey place. And the monkey place is this news. This is this beautiful that we have created human centrically. And we
yeah,
go in the monkey place and we go into a tram. It's beautiful. We're gonna go in the parking structure, and there's art. You park your car and you see all the art that is painted on the walls. And everything is touched. You touch it and it feels good, and you say, oh my God. And then there would be never a thing, oh, I don't want to pay taxes. It would never be. because it's not about the money. It's about the experience. And when I see to actually the Masters Augusta,
Yeah.
it's a general. It's not made for it's golf in the context of golf, but it's general,
Mm.
and people respect it. People not gonna make something dirty on purpose or whatever because
Mm.
it's so systemically well done. Doesn't mean if I like it in the look and the aesthetics. That no, but it is for the masses. It is for the people, and everything is clean. You give up your cell phone. You
Yeah.
you, you, you get in and you just enjoy it. And it's also very thing. Every hole, every hole is named after a bird or a tree or a
Mm.
plant.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's yeah. It's so
Yeah.
it's all. And I always say this is if you want to see how to do a system for whatever you want it.
Yeah.
Take Augusta, the Masters in Augusta, Georgia. Take that as a real because it's not baroque. It's not made. It's not defined by one thing, but it's now how it look. It doesn't matter if you like it and say, "Oh, I prefer a baroque golf course," or no,
Yeah.
but it's done where you honor the place, or you respect the place. It's an artwork. I'm going there. I'm going to the Social Security office, and I say, wow, I don't like that the system relevant, but when I go there, at least it feels plushy seats.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be super luxury, but
Yeah.
it's breathtaking. It's breathtaking, and
There's care. There's yeah.
all the artists support. All the artists would be right away had to have a job if we get the awareness that it is so important that our collective things like of that actually should serve us
Yeah.
also serving us on an emotional level where we
Mm.
feel good, you know?
Yeah. And that's part of the issue I think with systems is that it's forgotten the connectedness between the head and the it's doesn't see the human for who they are, as we said before. But now how do we update these? How do we not fight it? Because that's where the difficulty, as soon as we fight it, we create more segregation, because then
Yeah,
there's a response, there's an a tug of war almost between I'm right, no, I'm right, where for me that's where the problem lies, is in this competitive segregated world where I'm better or you better, where in art it's about the experience, about the process, about the connection to the artwork. And as you've said before, no one's art is necessarily better than anyone else's.
yeah,
It's
no.
their expression,
Mhm.
which is difficult to do within a system because there has to be a standardized formation to it. um,
Is that on you? Somebody's talking. It's you on your side or mine?
could be on mine.
Okay, no problem. I just want not somebody. A third person is in here. So
No.
that it's interesting. So you can never fight a system. You can never fight a system because when you fight a system, you basically fight when you revolute, when you try to fight a system, when you deny a system, you basically deny the people that are dependent on that system. So basically, it's against humans. It's human
Yeah.
against human, and we don't want that. We want to get humans for humans. We want to be human centric. That everybody contributes with their uniqueness.
Yeah. Yeah.
And instead of segregation. And you can't really, because what in our previous talk we had, the the systems that are so dilapidated and not functioning human centrically and are outdated are the victims of it's never enough of an other system that all systems are based on,
Mm.
that is financial principles that are outdated, where there is never enough.
Yeah.
So we have to look at that and update that system to say it is we have to bring enoughness in and
Mm.
not just shareholders sucking money in,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because the shareholders are with us. So if the shareholders only get money and only the owners get money, then it's never going to work because they feel it. Even if I'm on an island alone, as you know, alone and have every luxury I can, and the rest of the world is suffering, I suffer with it. And we already said also that everybody's in luck. There's nobody excluded. The richest guys in the world are not excluded, and the beggars are not excluded, because all of them think about it's never enough no matter what. And they think 70%, 80% about money versus living life.
Yeah.
Where does it? Money doesn't even exist in nature. So where
No,
would
but there's also not enough does not exist in nature either. There's no scarcity in nature.
It's not always hunky dory, but
No,
but it's not always scarcity.
no,
And the
there's
other thing
balance.
is, and that because it's a proof that that's the outdated system, the dilapidated outdated systems, is a proof that it's never enough, that we suck even the systems, our collective artworks dry. It's almost like we create something beautiful and then let it stand outside and being all dirty and never polish it. It's like you create a beautiful chalice and you just don't care about it. It's dirty. You put sand in. It's just whatever needs to be done. And that's generally really makes us helpless, because when you go in, a system should be helping you. The system is we created systems that you take care of my horse, right? But we said you take care of our horse, or you could do the cooking, you take care of the kids. And the systems can't do this anymore because it's a lack. So they have to save on humans. It's go from humans to money. It's like we do wars. We 650,000 people. It's from, because the systems are so weak, they have to literally do the last resort, and that's fighting. It's the power.
Because there's got to be someone that's stronger. There's got to be a power. There's got to be a
powerlessness.
The
cause of war is not hatred. The cause is powerlessness.
Yeah.
So when a system becomes powerless, it does that. It's and it's run by humans. So the humans are in fight flight, cannot think rationally anymore, and say, before you would survive or I'm gonna do whatever that I can survive. And when we push ourselves in the lack, the continuous lack, it's never enough, whatever I do, then we start fighting each other. And we because from by DNA, not because we have, not Michelle, you're a mean person, you want to fight me. No, the DNA takes over and we can't think rational. And collectively, that's what's happening right now in systems and with politicians and media, is we're fighting each other because we can't even think rational. And also we pretend to be somebody's system relevant. We talked about that too. The two parties on social media, the ones that are really the wealthy, and the ones that are not, and everybody pretends to be the same. That we pretend to be like the rich people, and actually, I don't know if it's had this. We have Mercedes dealerships here, where they look like dukes and duchess, the sales personnel, and the rich people, the billionaires come in like thugs. We completely switch everything is pretend. Everybody pretends. So the salespeople pretend to be, handmade, the great Rolex watch and everything, and the thing come in t-shirts and slippers. That's
because it's a persona. We all think we need to fulfill this role of whatever it is that we think we want to be seen as, or that we think others need to see, which is a waste of energy, really.
Yeah. But also it's the result because systems cannot do their job. Because basically, we have to really recognize systems. We create always more systems because, and the problem is, the more systems we create, the more we deny humanity. And the thing is, when systems actually get on top, when a system goes, look what happens. They fight each other. So
Yeah.
there is no, see, in humanity, nature, there is no end. There is no finite thing. Okay, this is
yes, that's exactly what I wanted to say. So it's that
yeah,
difference between the finite game and the infinite game.
yeah,
In nature, it's an infinite game, and in an
yeah,
infinite game, surprise and change is necessary for the game to continue,
yeah.
because it's going to continue, forever. So it has to update
Mm-hmm,
and deal with surprises, where
mm-hmm,
the finite or the short-term game has to have a winner, it has to have an end, and it can't change the rules.
mm-hmm.
So we need to look at how do we make these systems more part of our infinite games, because life is an infinite game.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think.
No. And the thing is, we don't talk about death, and we don't want to talk about war. And that's the thing that, you and I, we talk about both of those things, and
Yeah,
they're part of life. They're
yeah,
part of life. So, and war is outdated. It's that this system reset. But basically, humans get killed, so I can reset a system that is outdated. What is this? I mean,
exactly.
we sacrificed 650,000 in the 2 wars, 650,000 humans to reset and make better new systems over
No, but
there.
there's no new system that's coming out of it. There's nothing better. There's no
Yeah,
advantage to it,
no culture,
except
and we
for
destroyed the culture. We destroyed the
yeah,
culture because the first thing is the where congregate, where humans congregate, churches,
yeah,
mosques, all
mm,
the worship things, plus art is the first thing that every war destroys that first. And it's
yeah,
not a dark energy or anything. No. It's the DNA taken over. We have to survive. And before before you survive, I have to survive first. And
yeah,
that's the whole thing. And when we see, when we never go on the function, we always go the form. Oh, this United States, England, oh. We have to think, what is the function of these systems? What is the
yeah,
function of a government, of a city? What is the function? And especially when humans pay for the wars,
yeah,
because
yeah,
we talked about that too. We pay for the wars. Don't you think we are owed the function, transparent function,
yeah.
what this war is good for? Give me something I don't understand that I understand why, and that's what we need to request. We need to request with it. We need to be told crystal clear why we attack other humans, kill them. To what is the advantage for us? What is the advantage, and what is the advantage for them? And why do we have an advantage and the other people not, that we
And
attack?
why can't we talk about it?
And why
There's,
can we
there's
talk?
this constant. You don't see it from my perspective, or I don't see it from your perspective, but we're also not allowed to talk about it.
Yep.
We all part of the world, and this is happening on the world in the world that we live in, and it
Yep.
affects the collective hugely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we
It
need to talk
pushes up
about it.
more into the fight flight system, where then our DNA takes over and our animal rules. We are all animals, we know that, but our animal rules, and then we when the DNA takes over, this is what humans don't get. When your fight flight takes over, and you know it from a panic or depression.
Yeah.
When your fight flight takes over, you're not thinking rationally.
No,
When
you
I'm
can't. Yeah.
if I'm deeply depressed, right? I can't move.
Mm.
Like literally when you can't move,
Yeah.
I cannot think rationally. You say, Michael, what do you think about systems? I'm like that, and
Yeah.
people don't understand it, that we artificially. It's not naturally how we put ourselves in. We artificially put us in that, because we are in the collective. It's never enough, no matter what we do. And that's the outdated financial principles on which all systems are dependent on. We are dependent on our spirit, right?
Yeah.
But systems are all dependent on money,
Yeah.
and money is based on financial principles where it's never enough, no matter what we do.
Yeah.
And
Because each of those problems are based on lack.
yeah,
Yeah.
And it's the collective flag. And the
Yeah.
collective flag puts us into scarcity, fight, flight, scarcity, and then the DNA takes over and makes us fight each other. Because, or not being able, it's either fighting each other or not being able to rational thinking anymore. So we just go in the pure natural survival mode, and all the stuff that, and we start pretending and lying, and we say, oh, I'm gonna be the leadership coach, I'm gonna make you a lead. No, where there's more leadership coaches than leaders. I'm the thing, I'm doing this. No. And also a leadership is a team member, like we said, it keeps the plate spinning.
Yeah.
So where are the leaders, all these leaders that keep the plate spinning, other than saying, oh, I'm destroying that, and then keep the plate spinning so everybody can get a job for the thing? Yeah, but you killed 650,000 people in that. And that's why it is so, and if you think that we don't have to pick up the slack, if we're all interconnected, the more people are killed, the more the leftovers have to pick up the slack, and the more is suffering going on, because it's unnatural. It's not a natural death. It's not an earthquake happened and swallowed all these people. So we have to see, I think the financial principle, we always come to that because that's the cause of it. And then we have to really rethink our systems and make them something when, at least, how grounding it would be. Let's say our lives are like they are, stressful, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But we go in a church. We go into the Social Security. We're going into a hospital. That's safety. That's safety. The security, safety. That's what's built. That's why we want to be part of a group that's also intuitive, because the group, when you are in an emergency, that's why our animal drives us to be, especially when we're adolescent, for example, and you know that. You want to belong to a group. You don't care if that's the punks or the sweethearts or whatever. You want to be, or the sports guys. You want to belong, because your DNA drives you to be part of it, to be safe, because ultimately survival is essential, because it is so valuable to be physical. It is such a honor to be a human, not to be spiritual, not to be at this, not to be a CEO, no, to be you in the moment and dance like you and I do, and that's why awareness, that's why we say awareness is a responsibility to see, because even if the stuff doesn't happen like you want, at least you're aware. The problem is when you go false, when you make a false choice, because another false choice is something against you, because you just being aware. And therefore we need to be transparent. Everybody needs to be transparent.
And we can only be aware if we can consciously remove ourselves from the system. The system is separate to us, and
100%.
not us. Yeah,
that's what we say. That's why we're preaching system relevant is one thing, very important. It's not like, oh, screw system relevance. No, you still have to function. You have to drive in traffic and whatever. But the human centricity is number one, because guess what? All humans created the systems. A system has never created humans.
To make life flow better and for us to be ourselves more.
Serve. Make you safe. Serve, empower you. Like that's why going into a museum is like, wow. All of a sudden you get self-worth, even though you didn't create that. You get self-worth. Never get in a museum, oh my God, look at all these things. I do a horrible thing. No, you never say that. It's over. It takes you over. That's why the power of art. It's just so thing. And that's why I think our collective creations, the systems, need to be made to humans now, not to humans in that only gender, sex, and race. Segregate. To one of oneness. That's why the shift, which you and I are promoting, the shift of updating the system in the perception first from these, couple of niches that are system, the stereotypes, to yes, humans, They are gender, but also they are all one-on-one. And in the
Yeah.
one-on-oneness is so much fulfillment. It's so much
Yeah.
joy. You know that since we do that.
Yeah, and how can I, as a one of one, dance in the system and out of the system? Because the system
Exactly.
isn't everything.
Exactly.
We are everything.
How can you
As
contribute to humans, and how can you contribute to systems?
yes,
Yeah.
Michael, thank you.
Thank you so much.
We're
Pleasure.
going to take a short break. I think maybe just for a week,
Yeah.
and then we'll be back. And yeah,
And it's got to be an explosion. It's got to be explosion. It's got to be beautiful. It's beautiful, elegant, and an explosion.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank